Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Alice Rouse, author of this little guy right here, not so little, 573 pages, not even half the story, before, during, or after. So, where you can get that, where you can get my merchandise, my other little books right here, down in that description. So go down like it's the back lounge on the tour bus of an 80s band. That was awkward, but thank you guys as always, so much for all the love, all the support, all the kindness, the friendships, the great ideas, everything. I mean, I just can't even begin to tell you. Welcome to all the new people. I hope you get to know me, get to know other groupies from the 80s that are here that I've done interviews with, and I hope you really kind of watch and open your minds to a whole different attitude. Because today's episode, we're going to talk about a whole different attitude. Because I think it's really hard, and we're going to talk about respect. So it came from a comment that I'll get into in a minute, because I think it's really hard for people because we're so used to this cookie cutter sheeple idea of what a groupie is or how we're presented to the world, because most channels are just rehashed, maybe probably not researched, AI voice generated, just to make clicks and likes for a little bit of extra cash every month. Or they may have 2 or 3, and that's how they make their living, which is fine and all. But when you run onto someone like me, who is not rehearsing anything, not AIing, not redoing rehashed lists for 20 damn years, or watered down stories of half-truths and mostly lies. I'm talking about, I was there for a lot of things. I'm telling you my firsthand opinion of what I know with the music business and stuff. So, in the groupie life. So I think it's hard when people come to my videos, especially if they're just watching about their favorite band, to really understand the dynamics of rock and roll. And like I said, today's topic comes from a comment. We're going to figure that out. And we are going to be having, let me get this. I'm going to have a little lemonade and whiskey because, you guys, I really love this Suntory Toki. It's not one of their most expensive ones, which is great. It is a $40 bottle here in Utah, but it's so super smooth. And I'm just going to add it because it's springtime, time for a little bit of lemonade and a little bit of freshness. Not so much the hot chocolate and stuff, but, oh, here, we're going to, because people sometimes don't believe I actually drink it. So, there you go. Look at that, just fucking smooth. I tell you, I've had this with the lemonade before, and it's just, you know, with Jack Daniels, Jameson even, Woodford, whatever, you get this really kind of whiskey bite, which some people really like, but I like my whiskey smooth. So have a little bit of Suntory and lemonade, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails and rocktails. Cheers, big ears. No whiskey face. Still get that really killer whiskey flavor, but it's so smooth. I just love it. So, okay. Now, we're going to talk about this comment that I think I have it saved. If I do, you know, I'll put it up there. But it was a girl who was coming, and I think I know who she is from some of my Metallica ladies, who were awesome ladies. Queen E. I think she was the one posting about how Arizona will always remind me of him. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about. Metallica ladies, you know. So she was talking about the episode where I talk about Danny and I in Denver with Metallica. The first one where Danny's throwing up on the local band below because Lars was holding her hair back. I tried to get her to the restroom. I mean, this was not even approached that I was the one trying to get her in the restroom. But what she was very upset about. Oh, shall I cry? No. But what she was very upset about is that I was laughing during the episode. Because it was a funny story. And I explained to her that it's not necessarily that now I think that would be funny. Because even at the time, we were just like, oh, whoa, too much in shock to kind of really comprehend. We were not actually laughing at the time. We were just like, oh, Lars, what are you, Lars? And this whole thing spanned like 4 minutes. Not more than 5, from the time we walked in the door, from the time we ran out and tossed our shot glasses to the side. So when I'm telling a story, I'm reliving the memory of the good times. And I explain this to her, that I'm reliving the laughter I had with those people in my memories. And she kept saying, oh, I got it, but you know, and trying to really make her point come across. And one of the things she said was, bands must respect each other. Sweetie, you've never been backstage, have you? I mean, maybe you've paid for a meet and creep little package, $2, $3, $4, $5,000 for that, but you haven't lived the life. Because if you say bands must respect, what friggin' Alice in Wonderland cartoon is happening in your head when you think of rock and roll and backstage? Because I'm going to tell you, it's so not Almost Famous. It's so not rainbows and kittens blowing at your, blowing out from the behinds. Bands must respect each other. I just thought, really? Really? Do you not know about the reality? Let's start with Eric Clapton, the Beatles. The Beatles, once Yoko started coming along, John started respecting Yoko more. Their music was suffering. He didn't respect the other banders. It just suffered all the way around as far as respect, dignity, kindness, them being a band, like truly bonded guys, brothers together in a band. And let's start not talk about Eric Clapton and George Harrison, one of his best friends, sleeping with his wife, having an affair with his wife, sending desperate love letters, saying we can't call. Do you think he had respect for whoever might have been at home with him? And do you think he had respect, for himself or for Patty even? But he did not have respect for George. So bands must respect each other. They were best friends in different bands. So they didn't even respect each other as best friends, let alone they were in different bands. So in a way, they were not respecting the other band. And that's happened several times. Do you think the Pistols, Sex Pistols, that Steve Jones respected Sid Vicious? We're not even talking about disrespecting other bands, because there's so much disrespect and egos that goes on in plenty of bands, But do you think they were respecting Sid Vicious? Do you think Nancy really actually respected Sid, or just loved the fact that she got herself her rock star? She loved him, yeah. But do you think she respected him? No. No. Let's see. Hold on. There was definitely selfish egos and not a whole lot of thought going into Eric Clapton's actions with Patty, or, John had more respect for Yoko than he did the members of his own band, which caused him to lose respect from the other band members. I'm not even sure they talked off stage after that for years and years and years, because they lost respect for each other. The fact that you demand, and in your head, in your perfect little Alice in Wonderland little rock and roll world where the whole world loves you and you're on the arm of your favorite lead singer who has a girlfriend, if you've checked out her Twitter, oh God, ain't no respect there. Neither is releasing a naked picture. But anyway, I get outside of the subject. So, there was the respect, and I've seen the disrespect myself. I know I lost train of thought, with the John and Yoko thing, but yeah, that wasn't, and John Lennon, definitely you must respect bands, and whether they're big or small. I can tell you right now, Metallica did not respect Kip Winger. They might have apologized for it, but do you think they actually respect him now? That's a pretty heavy word to use. Some people think you have to earn that, which when Metallica was, pranking Jason and doing all this stuff they did to kind of break him into being a member of the band and stuff. No, that was the way they had him earn respect. Because we were all young, stupid, doing stupid stuff. Because she's like, oh, I don't drink, but my friends do, so I get it. Like, who are you trying to model yourself for? That certain metal god lead singer that Arizona will always remind you of? Don't model yourself for anybody. Be your own self. And if you are, that's cool. But you don't drink, so don't come in here condescending me for laughing at a memory that happened while we were 2 sheets to the wind drunk. We had already been drinking half the day. This was the end of our night. Obviously, because Danny was throwing up. You know, and because I was laughing at a memory that I made with my friends, we all laugh at stupid stuff that we did as kids. Whether they're little kids, whether we were teenagers, even stuff in our college years and early 20s. Because even if it was stupid, we're like, God, how stupid were we? So, and then she watched the episode of, excuse me, my throat is dry. So good. But then she watched the episode of my very first guest, Danny, where we were talking about the Metallica car wreck and that happened right after Denver and stuff, and how we were talking about the situation in Denver where Lars held back her hair and she started throwing up on the band below. And she was remorseful, but so then the girl posts, Queenie posts, Danny, I like this girl. See, even she's still trying to push her point. You're not going to change my mind because I was enjoying telling a memory. That was it. I didn't necessarily say that I would do it again. I actually said I was trying to get her into the bathroom. I was trying to do the right thing. I just trusted Lars to take care of her as he had so many nights on so many other occasions. You know? And then, so I just kind of blocked her. I just, she can see us, but we can't see her, which is so friggin' fun for me. Mm-hmm. You can scream in the middle of a room of 100,000 people and no one's even going to notice. So, but what she didn't know is Danny and I, over the years, on several occasions, have laughed our asses off over that day. Just because she's saying, yeah, that probably wasn't the best thing to do. No, probably wasn't. But I didn't do it. So don't come down on me for laughing and tell me all bands must respect each other. Because again, let's go to another scenario. Do you think, Mick Fleetwood and Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Graham and, Christine McVie and, the other guy used to respect each other when they were all sleeping with each other? Hell, that's just within the band stuff, and don't even get me started about Pantera. What they're doing now is so incredibly disrespectful of Vincent Paul's memory, and these are 2 other guys from different bands disrespecting Vinny. When Vin was still alive, they knew he did not want this tour. So his so-called brother from another mother, Zach, disrespected him the second he signed the contract and the first time he got on that stage under the guise of Pantera. Charlie Benante totally disrespected Vincent Paul in his memory the second he climbed behind the drums of all things. Replacing the brothers who were at the heart of a band, those 2 guys have total disrespect for Vin and Dime. So, and they were all good friends. Great friends. So, here we are. If they fell under the perfect La La Land version, Cinderella, whatever world that you're living in, then Pantera tour would not be happening, which I would love that. Because I don't think Vin would want it. He definitely didn't want it in life. He wouldn't want it now, especially because that is a betrayal. Just like Eric Clapton betrayed, just like all of Fleetwood Mac betrayed each other. Respect. And then we're going to get into, Metallica. Do you really think when they did that hideous joke of a movie, Some Kind of Monster, when Lars was screaming in James's face, that was full of respect and love? And kittens and rainbows? And Cheshire cats and Tweedledee and Tweedledum? We know which one you are. I mean, and do you think they fully respected Jason while they were pranking him into the band? No, that was to see if he could make it out on the road. The road back then was not an easy place. Seriously, tours lasted 2 years. And in 1 year, you maybe got a total of 4 weeks off, not consecutively, but you maybe got 4, maybe 6 weeks off. So when you have a day off and you're just running around wild, you are like kids blowing off steam, because we were kids. We were all in our early 20s. They might have been in their late 20s, but you make excuses for college kids, for your own friends, for yourself, but your fantasy that you have going on in your head that you've created for everybody else to believe, which helps you believe it, tells you otherwise. I mean, do you think do you think when they were throwing darts at Kip Winger in the Nothing Else Matters video, they had respect for him? Do you think even those lyrics never cared for games they played? The band game, that was something from Danny and I. Do you think he had respect for Kristen? Because I know the truth about that phone call, what was happening behind that phone call, behind the song. No. She was calling the bitch about me. So you think there was respect going on there? Or do you think the respect was happening, when they were touring with Guns N' Roses? And they were doing interviews talking about how Guns N' Roses dropped the ball when James got the pyro accident and got burned. And Guns N' Roses totally dropped the ball. Do you think that Metallica respected Guns N' Roses? Not for years. We all grew up and we let things go in the past. And in the past, we had senses of humor. And what she doesn't know, what I totally forgot about, because Danny reminded me this, when the whole throw-up incident in Denver happened, the band was given backstage passes to the show the next night, had a beer, we all laughed it off, or they laughed it off, and everybody went on with their lives, happy, healthy, normal. You just have yourself on the same kind of pedestal that you're putting your favorite rock star on. We all know who that is. And you have this idea of how everything should go with, like I said, rainbows and kittens, like we're in friggin' make-believe land or something. Get on Mr. Rogers, or, like I said, Cinderella, not even Cinderella, because at least Cinderella's, little illusions faded. But you're living in some Disney world that really does not exist. Because again, you're out on the road, especially back then, for 2 years, 3 years, 2 years on the average at a time, a year to 2 years, and you're going stir crazy. Yeah, you're going to go a little extra crazy on your day off when you are free of the concrete hallways, of the hotel rooms, of the tiny little 9-seater plane, or the tour buses with stinky guys in bus socks. Sorry, I have a list, because when I start to think about an episode, sometimes I'll just put a little voicemail into, voice reminder in my phone. And I had a lot of little reminders on this. So if I keep looking down, that's, and let's talk about the 90s, early 2000s G-rap, as we'll call it, Tupac versus Biggie, Suge Knight versus this, East Coast versus West Coast, dissing each other in their lyrics. Tupac's no longer with us, neither is Biggie. Think they had respect for each other? Because they have to. According to you, have to respect each other. 90s gangster rap became popular because they were vying for who should have the most respect in their lyrics and their actions. So this was a whole era of rap that was made their money on disrespect. And I'm not saying it's all right or anything. I'm saying we do stupid stuff and we grow the F up and life goes on. Back then, like I said, you would see two guys at the bar, getting into a little drunken tussle, and then they'd get tired and be like, all right, cool, man, shake hands and go buy each other a beer. That's what was happening, really, And I was laughing because it was just a memory for my friends. Didn't mean I disrespected the band. It didn't mean that Danny, because you tried to make Danny seem like some higher, more morality of a soul than I was. Which, trust me, Danny didn't stop herself from throwing up on him. She could have turned her face and just threw up on the floor. So, and if you think all bands get along off stage, you tend to think you must be Greta Van Fleet because they're all related, and I can guarantee you, even they on the road go their separate ways on their day off, hide in their rooms, watch a movie, just have a jammy day. Because I can tell you with Pantera, because let's go back to Pantera, because again, this is something I watched along with Metallica firsthand. I watched the demise of their band. I watched Vin off stage. He was on a tour bus with his brother. He was on a stage with his brother, in a dressing room with his brother. When he went off stage, at least when he and I were together, we were in our own little world. Everybody's not at the hotel bar, getting, connecting hotel rooms, running around in the hallways, talking blah, 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 blah. Little cliques form. See, what you did, you only watched 3 videos on Metallica because that's who you love. And that's cool. But if you want to criticize me as a human being, then watch the rest of my videos. Really watch my whole story. Because you're only getting one story in thousands of nights with Metallica and tons of other bands. But back to Vin, Vin would not even go. Like, when I was around, I rarely saw him hang around anybody else off stage because and when he was off the road, he would still come visit me in Vegas a lot in his own little world. And people knew Vin to be like that. Now, this doesn't mean he disrespected his brother and stuff. You just need time and space away from each other after spending 2 years, 6 months. And when you're young, you do stupid stuff. When you're crazy, when you feel at the top of the world, and I think Big Mick in one of the VH1 Metallica behind the scenes, when they were talking about the bus wreck, Big Mick, one of their roadies, who the band disrespected, along with Tony, along with Ian Jeffries, blah, 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 blah. Roadies who I knew that are no longer with them, Tim Gallup, so and so and so on. But Big Mick said something that you always feel protected on tour. You feel untouchable. So, egos do kind of happen when you're becoming the biggest band in the world. So Lars did that. Because you love James Hetfield and you want to be the model perfect woman that you think he wants in his head. And you want that whole life. You've already had fantasies with your battery-operated boyfriend or drawn little ideas and made up little things and posted it online and stuff. It doesn't mean that that's what actually exists. What actually exists is normality. The normal ups and downs of emotions and respect and and bands. And I can tell you even right now in Metallica, there is some respect lost personally off that stage. And I can tell you 2 people are struggling for it on and off that stage. And that's Lars and James. They've constantly got a little struggle going on between each other. But again, do you think they've always respected each other? No. I mean, if bands can't respect each other within their own confines, how do you expect them to always respect other bands outside of their confines? How do you expect everything to always be perfect? Because you don't realize that we're all just human beings. We're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to laugh at our mistakes. It's okay to laugh at a good memory. It's nothing wrong with that. We can all do that. And ladies, 80s ladies, go down in that comments. Tell me what you've seen. Because Melody, Desiree, Diana, Dee Dee. Oh, and you probably didn't watch Diana's. She hung out with Metallica for a lot of years. So Queen Bee, which, please, come on. You name yourself Queen Bee? Come on now. Please, that is total disrespect of everybody else around you, considering yourself higher than other people, including myself. So shouldn't all women stand by each other and respect our independence? I guess not in your world. If it doesn't make sense in your world, which I get because, like I said, most people tuning into my type of content are used to very much from people who were not there, who aren't even in the videos, who don't even do anything but research and read from different articles or maybe plagiarize and mix them together and put up pictures of a life they've never experienced. So when you do stumble on someone like me who has experienced this life, who has, a real opinion and a real outlook and aspect of rock and roll that nobody's ever heard before. I can understand, sweetie. It breaks, like the scene in Labyrinth where David Bowie and the girl are dancing and she's in the beautiful dress. And, oh, my favorite song from that movie, I'll Be There For You. Ooh, ooh. We all know it. We all just sang it in our heads. But, the end, everything looks perfect. It looks amazing. And she's just enamored with it all. And everybody's, this party's having a good time. But what she doesn't realize, there's all these masks. And once she realizes she needs to scream, fight, and get out, and everything just shatters. The whole bubble just shatters. Well, sweetie, I'm sorry I did that to your bubble. But maybe I'm not, because maybe I just did you the biggest favor anybody has ever done and shattered that bubble. Because reality is a great place. Fantasyland is never going to happen. It's Fantasyland for a reason. It's meant to be an escape, not a reality. So here's the reality. The bands must respect each other. Sweetie, rock and roll is full of egos that stand on a stage fighting for a spotlight, fighting for song credits, fighting for respect to be the biggest band in the world, putting people through the brotherhood of welcoming to the band with pranks and jokes. And it can get frustrating, yeah, because you're confined with these people. Imagine being on a plane with like 10 seats with these guys all the time. Imagine being in a tour bus, in a dressing room, in the same hotel hallways, even though you may be in your own room. Even the Who didn't. And you think that Pete Townsend respected John Entwistle after he passed away, when he talked about, oh, we had to tour because John was always broke, and Old Red Wine, he humored him by drinking it, but it was really crap. It kind of reminded me about John. But he did, kind of respect the memories that they had together when he wrote the song Old Red Wine. So like I said, if you think this is rock and roll is full of just people who love each other, respect, playing Kumbaya by the pool while the groupies dance around like magic fairies, whoo, girl. You wouldn't be able to handle the stench of the hallway where those of the tour bus. Oh, God. But, so there you go. There's my thoughts on all bands must respect each other. You didn't respect me. So what makes you think that that's something that should be happening in reality? Because you live in Delulu land when it comes to all that. You may have a reality where you're a wonderful person. I don't know. I don't see that reality. You're coming at me from your own little la-la land, your own private Idaho, so to speak. So, like I said, go backstage for an extended period of time like I have, and you'll see the disrespect when bands break up and how two members are on one bus and Rex and Phil are on the other, and they don't even talk off stage, or they're talking crap about another band either in interviews or in lyrics, or throwing darts at pictures of them on a dartboard. Yeah, you see what you want to, not the reality. But I'm here to show you the reality. And like I said, I understand that's rough for people who are used to the past 20 years of the same old churned out, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be taking it by storm because, like I say, I just tell it like it is. I don't know any other way to do it. I haven't had to live one of those lives where I've had my work personality and my family personality and this personality when I'm with the bands. I'm just one personality that goes around all these different places. I suggested. It's really cool. So thank you guys for getting to the end of this episode. And like I said, other 80s ladies and 70s ladies who are down in the comments, other groupies, even the modern day ones, get down there. Tell her what, because she can see all of our comments. We just can't see hers. So let her know, because we all have our stories. We've all seen it, haven't we, ladies? Woo, we've seen it. So thank you, everybody, for listening to me. I'm not trying to be a big old bitch or anything. I'm just kind of responding because, like I said, we all know the stories of bands disrespecting each other, or within each other or stuff like that. It happens. We do it. Human beings make mistakes. Can we laugh about it later on in life? Yeah. If you have a good sense of humor and you are able to let things go and you just laugh at it like a memory of your friends, it's okay. Laugh at your memory of your friends. It's okay, people. So, speaking of what else is okay, so much is down in that description. My link tree with my book, my merchandise, everything, my TikTok, all my social media. So go down, hit that link tree. While you're on the way down, hit subscribe, become a member, because I'm going to be doing lives for members only. So, and I want to be doing question and answer lives for members only. That's why I haven't done a Q&A in a while. So there you guys go. And sorry for my throat. It's been such skiwamas weather here in Utah. I mean, today it was really sunny and beautiful. By noon it was hailing, snowing. Now it's a little bit raining. But it's warmer than it was this morning. So, getting a little bit of changing seasons cold, a little sore throat. So, sorry you guys, and thank you so, so much for all the love, all the support, all the friendships. Good and bad comments I'm okay with, Most of them we can talk through, haven't we? But when you keep trying to push your agenda of a fantasy world against reality, I'm sorry, reality is always going to bite back and win. So, all right, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit my bells, and we will see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.